In this video, I'm going to show you how to dispute your credit report and remove inaccurate charge-offs using factual dispute. Now, in this dispute series, there's 4 elements to this dispute series. After you watch this one, I want you to go through and click on the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one until you get through the entire dispute series. So let's get to it. Again, like I said, factual disputing on how to remove an inaccurate charge-off. All right, so the first thing we want to look at when we're looking at a credit report, I'm looking at a credit monitoring report right now, is we want to look to see if the information on the credit report is accurate. Now, the Fair Credit Reporting Act states that the credit bureaus must report all information accurately. Now, that means all of the data must be reported on the credit report accurately. And if it's not reported accurately, then technically it has to be deleted. So let's take a look at this credit report right here. As you can see, if we look in the comment section right here, as you can see, all 3 credit bureaus are reporting the common information differently. So you must ask yourself this question: is this section of the credit report accurate? And the answer is no. Why? Because TransUnion is saying one thing, Experian is saying another thing, and Equifax is saying something else. So based off of that alone, you can argue that the credit monitoring report is not reporting the information accurate. Now, instead of you going and saying, hey, this charge-off is not mine, or this charge-off is wrong, you don't have to do that anymore, because as you can clearly see, the information on this particular credit report is inconsistent. So let's take a look at another one. Let's take a look at the credit card information at the top, account type. Again, like I said before, the Fair Credit Reporting Act states that any information on the credit report must be reported accurate. And if the credit bureaus can't fix the information, it must be deleted. Now, if you take a look at this same credit report, now it's the same exact credit report. We've already found 2 inconsistent reporting of data on this particular credit report. Now, like I said before, I'm showing you how to dispute a credit report using factual methods and not lying or not being misleading to the credit bureaus. You don't have to do that. Like, that's an old way of disputing. And still a lot of gurus out there teach you this method of disputing, which you don't have to do that, because that's not the correct way of disputing when you have inaccurate information on the credit report already. Now, more than likely, when you dispute this, is the credit bureau going to actually fix it? More than likely, no. So those are grounds for them to delete it if they don't fix this reporting to the credit monitoring company. So as you can see right here, TransUnion, it says credit card. Experian, it says credit card, but there's nothing reporting here for Equifax. Now, like I said before, all across the entire 3 credit bureaus, it should say credit card. So that's an argument right there to dispute with the credit bureaus. Well, why are you reporting this on TransUnion and Experian, but not reporting it on Equifax? This is inaccurate. Fix it or delete it. That's it. All right, so let's take a look at another one. Look at the monthly payment. Now, on TransUnion, it says 0 for the same account. Again, we've already found 2 problems with this account. For TransUnion, it says 0. For Experian, it says 0. But now on Equifax, it says you owe $35. Now, what is wrong with this picture? Now, I thought the credit bureaus are supposed to report information 100% accurate. And as you can see, again, they're making mistakes again. So I would not say that this account is not mine. I will not say that this doesn't belong to me. I will simply dispute based on the facts that I see right here. Now, when you send in the dispute letter for this particular account, the credit bureau has 30 days to investigate. Now, what's going to happen? They're either going to respond back to you with corrected information, or they're going to respond back to you with deleted information, or they're going to respond back to you that this item has already been verified with no correction. Now, if they respond back to you with no correction, did they really follow the law and do a true investigation? Now, some may argue that the credit monitoring report is different from the credit bureaus, right? But the credit monitoring report, they're getting the data from the credit bureaus. So whether you have a credit report in your hand or you have a credit monitoring report, and what I mean by credit report, I'm talking about the original report from each credit bureau, or you have a credit monitoring report in your hand, I mean, why does that really matter? Because the credit monitoring is still getting the data from the credit bureaus. So let's take another look at another one. Now look at this. Now, these simple issues on these credit reports can cause havoc on your credit report. It can cause havoc on your credit score because the credit monitoring companies are basing your score off the data that they get from the credit bureaus. And if the credit bureaus are not reporting the data properly to the credit monitoring, see, the credit monitoring companies are just displaying the data that they're getting from the credit bureaus. And if the credit bureaus are not reporting the information correctly, then technically this information that you see is inaccurate. So that is the base of your argument. So if you take a look at this one, look at the date open. Experian 7/4/2016. I'm sorry, TransUnion 7/4/2016. Experian 7/1/2016. Wrong. Look at that, two different dates. I mean, where do you get these two different dates? I mean, this data is coming directly from the credit bureaus. So why is TransUnion reporting this open date one date, and then Experian is reporting it another day? And then if you come over to Equifax 7/01/2016, so these two are accurate, but this one is wrong. You see, so you don't have to misrepresent yourself when you are disputing a credit report, because I've already found multiple issues with this one account that the credit bureaus must investigate. So I don't care if you send one dispute letter disputing one field, a field is this, and then you send the second dispute letter sending a second, disputing a second field. I don't care, because it's not your fault that this data is inaccurate. It's the credit bureau's fault that they are reporting inaccurate information. So let's check out another one. Last reported is wrong. Now here we go again. The last reported date is wrong. We got TransUnion 11/07/2016, Experian 11/07/2016, and then here we go again, Equifax 11/1/2016. So again, the data is not consistent across the board. So whether you're using a credit monitoring report or you're using an original report from the credit bureaus, I will still dispute based on the data that I see in front of me. The credit bureaus have a duty by the Fair Credit Reporting Act to report all information in your credit report as 100% accurate. And if they don't, then you have every right to dispute the information with the credit bureau. All right. So here's what I want you to do right now. I want you to tell me, how have you disputed charge-offs with the credit bureaus? What are your methods of trying to get an inaccurate account off of your credit report? Now, we're not talking about accurate accounts. We're talking about inaccurate accounts. Something is wrong with the account. Go ahead and type your comment right now inside of the comment section of this video and tell me right now, and I will respond to all of your comments. Now, the next thing I want you to do is I want you to click on the subscribe button so you can be notified every single time I come out with a new video. I want you to be notified because I want you to go through this whole series of disputing information on your credit report. Now go ahead and click the card that you see anywhere in this screen to go to the next video where I teach you how to dispute a credit report and remove inaccurate late payments.